with your host, You're listening to the Best Company Show, Southern California's business podcast, focusing on topics of interest to CEOs and managers of middle market companies, with your host, Robert J. Curtis.
And welcome again to the Best Company Show. Welcome again to the Best Company Show. My name is Robert J. Curtis, and I am your host. This is episode number 11. And I want to welcome for this episode a very special guest, Matt Kinney of Reality Smash, which is a really cool company here in Orange County, and a relatively new company, but also an up-and-comer. And I tell you, just on a rocket ship, right, going straight up. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Let me make a little introduction for you, Matt.
Sure.
Okay. And this is some thoughts I had about you and about what you guys are doing over here. This is, in particular, the business you're in. Is phenomenal. It is a really tremendously fun and exciting time for new technologies. You're in one of those fields. And when it comes to interactive apps and gaming, virtual reality, augmented reality, 360-degree video, you guys are right in the middle of all of it. That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
And so it is the whole dynamic of not only entertainment, but news, information, gaming, all of this is moving in exactly the directions where you guys are. And so I'm so happy to have you here as a guest.
Thank you.
And we could talk about the things you do and how you manage your people and how's it working out.
Yeah.
So why don't we start out
Okay.
with you giving me some background on Reality Smash and where you guys start, what are you doing now, what makes you guys great?
Sure. So we started off as a meetup group called Orange County VR. We have about 1,800 members in it now, and we've done hackathons and game jams all around VR, AR, IoT, web development, and just trying to figure out this technology. Eventually, with enough cool people surrounded by, we created a company. We started as Monster VR and got into video games, building video games in virtual reality. Started with a game called Sweet Escape, where you basically climb big pieces of candy, throw yourself 50 feet in the air. It's awesome. And then released that on Steam, and then realized that VR is still really new. And there's not a whole lot of headsets out there at the time. This was in 2016. And so then we started trying to get creative with the ways that we can use VR as a way to communicate messages for business to business. So did an experience for William Grant & Sons where we took similar Sweet Escape mechanics and created the Rika Vodka Icelandic Mix and Climb Challenge, where you climb an Icelandic volcano, and when you get to the top, you mix a Moscow Mule and you drink it. And
that sounds like a great game.
Yeah,
I would love to play it.
And they're taking that around to different concerts like Bottle Rock and Red Rock, and just as a marketing activation, so people can better connect with the brand. Because right now, with normal commercials that you see on the internet, people get about 10 seconds of engagement with a commercial and people spend a lot of money to make a commercial. With VR, when you create an experience in VR, you get about 10 minutes of engagement from your consumer, because now they are interacting with your brand. And so it's a very cool, creative solution to keep us afloat while we were trying to figure out this VR thing.
Okay, now, and let's dive in a little bit deeper on this, because some of the people listening and watching might not have a full grasp of what even VR is.
Yeah.
Okay. You talk about it because it's your business, you know it.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you describe it for the very beginner or the person who's never been exposed to it?
Sure. So basically it starts with a HMD, or a head-mounted display, which is a headset. You put it on your face, and you have usually two controllers. on the outskirts of your living room, you have two sensors, usually called lighthouses. They shoot infrared lasers everywhere into the room, and that's what tracks you one-to-one. So that when you put this system on and you turn it on, you are inside the video game. You are being tracked one-to-one to the video game.
And okay, so what you're seeing on your display, like a headset wearing over your eyes, like big sunglasses or whatever, right? You're actually seeing the room, but in a virtually created room.
Yes.
And it's tracking you moving around that room, right? And then you said you had triggers, right? And those are the things that you hold in your hand, right? I've seen this before, done it before actually a little bit. But the so there are triggers, and you you engage with various things. Like in the vodka example, climbing a mountain, going over things, mixing drinks, all kinds of things.
You can grab objects. You can observe the area around you. And it's right now we're trying to figure out locomotion, like how you move around in a virtual environment when you only have a 10-foot by 10-foot space in your living room. How do you get past that 10 feet getting tracked? Well, mechanics like climbing, where like in my game, you can climb a vast distance without having to go 10 feet past your living room where you're getting tracked in your room.
But then going, moving around horizontally, that you've got another problem, because you're going to run into the wall or the furniture or whatever, right? Okay, so you guys are working on that. I'm sure other people are too. But this is like a whole immersive experience. Now, that's one of the things you guys do. The other things you do, augmented reality. Can you describe that real quick?
Yeah, so one of the latest projects we did was for Dole. We basically created a Star Wars app. They wanted to get people to reconnect with their brand with the banana stickers, right? So they took Star Wars stickers and placed them on the bananas, and we created an app to where you could use the app and use the sticker as an identification, and it would pop up a reward like a camera filter, and you'd be able to take a picture with Chewbacca while after you scanned this sticker on the banana. So it was, and then not only that, we were able to put in Spotify playlists, so that when you scanned this, say a QR code, it's a sticker though, so you scan the sticker, you would get a reward like a Spotify playlist to play.
And the augmented part is it's adding something to what you're already seeing.
Correct. It's just
in the real world.
Yes, it's just adding a digital element hidden, almost like a hidden inside that item, or inside that image, and then as soon as you scan that image, it pops out to be discovered. It's not
okay. All right, cool. Okay, so we only have a couple of minutes left to describe what you do.
Yeah,
and I know you do
worries.
so much. But here's a question for you. The last thing we mentioned was 360 degrees.
Yeah.
There's other video stuff. Now, is that kind of like Google Maps, cars driving around, mapping everything 360? Is that kind of the thing you're doing?
Yeah. So with 360 video, we're using it more as a way to create environment, because with VR, there's a stylistic view of VR where we have the very cartoony, video gamey sense, and then you have realistic VR where we're trying to make it look like real life as much as possible. Now we have a thing called the uncanny valley, which is very hard to cross, where we can't quite get everything as real life. So what we do is we use 360 video to create the environment on the background, so that you have, and then we bring in interactive abilities so that you can have an interactive 360 video. The problem with 360 video at the moment is that it's a very observable experience. You can only experience it, watch it, but you can't do anything with it. You can't interact with the people in the video because they're all recorded. So what we do is we bring in the game element we use the Unity engine, and we use the 360 video as the background, so you feel like you're on the beach at Laguna, and then you're playing a game of money grab while you're grabbing, money out of a tornado on the beach of Laguna.
So essentially, you're mixing all of these different kinds of new technologies and different types of, I don't know what you call it, is it digital content, digital creative factors? I don't know. You're combining them all.
Yeah.
And then just creating all this really cool stuff, like whole new worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now with VR, VR is so much, and there's so many people. You don't have to be a programmer to get into VR. You don't have to be an artist to get into VR. Basically, what we're trying to do is recreate life. And so if you are an expert and you have knowledge in a certain thing, you can go to VR and design something badass for it. So
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's take a quick break right now. We'll have
Sure.
a word from our sponsor, and then we'll come back, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the challenges you have and how how you're growing your business. You're a startup, but you're dynamic and you're growing rapidly, from what
Yeah.
I understand. So we'll find out a little bit more about it. So let's take a break right now.
Awesome. Thank you.
A premier provider of employee analytics and metrics that helps CEOs and managers of middle market companies hire the best, manage the best, and be the best. Robert is a keynote speaker, presenter, moderator, and panel member who regularly appears at conferences, business events, and association meetings nationwide. His presentations provide powerful information that gives CEOs and managers of middle market companies valuable insights to improve their hiring and engagement skills. If you'd like Robert to make a personal appearance, he can be contacted by visiting his show's website, bestcompanyshow.com, or by emailing Robert at info@bestcompanyshow.com.
And welcome back to the Best Company Show. I am your host, Robert J. Curtis, and this is episode number 11. We have Matt Kinney
Hi.
of Reality Smash, a technology company, a relatively young technology company, but doing dynamic things here in Orange County. They do virtual reality, they do augmented reality, they do 360 degree. They have created a couple, 2 or 3 games that are out there on, what's it called?
Steam.
On Steam. What is it? Reality Smash? Sweet Escape.
Yeah, Sweet Escape.
And the vodka one?
The vodka one's not on Steam. It's just getting out in it's out in the world, and that company is taking it to different places. So.
Okay, and that's the Rika
vodka. Yep.
Okay, and then the next one is you have a
Dole.
couple of others. The Dole thing.
Dole is on iOS, but it was for like a sweepstakes, and it's already done with. So
Okay, so it's over, but
probably
that
won't
might be
matter.
re-released or done in
Yeah.
something in the future. Okay, what else do you have? Are there anything new coming out?
Right now, we just updated Sweet Escape. We spent we updated Sweet Escape. We put in a lot of our profit from the creative work we've been doing, the service work we've been doing over the year, and basically went full in to fix our multiplayer, to really have an awesome product on Steam, to get the players to come in and actually try something else with another person in VR, because what people don't experience in VR right now is multiplayer experience, where I'm in it and you're in it and we're in it together, and it makes it so much more awesome and interesting. So the after we put Steam right now, we're working on stuff in the hospitality industry with training at the moment. Basically a front desk app where you basically teach someone how to greet a guest into a hotel, just because I come from a hotel background, so that was
Okay.
a fun one to do.
Cool.
And then just we're in aerospace at the moment, just working on different projects with them.
So you're doing corporate work directly for corporations too, not just releasing things on Steam for
Yeah.
the public and everything. Okay, so quick question.
Yeah.
You've mentioned Steam a couple of times.
Yeah.
What is Steam?
So Steam is a similar like to Netflix, but is a video game Netflix basically. So you go onto the Steam platform on your PC. You can download any video game that someone's made. Like they have so many video games, and it's very developer friendly. So if you wanted to build a video game, you can port it onto Steam. And Steam was the first VR marketplace that came out.
Okay.
And so we were one of those games when it first came out in 2016.
So everybody that's got this new equipment, they're trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yes.
They're searching around and they find you guys on Steam.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll talk about how to find you a little bit more
Yeah.
later in the broadcast here. But the question for you, and I want to dig in right away on it if we can,
Yeah.
is come on, you've dynamic, growing company, Orange County, high tech, very demanding in a lot of ways, and you've got 20 something employees around that at this point. It can't be easy. It's got to be tough.
So yeah, when I first got into business, I didn't know how to manage people. I don't have a business degree. I don't have a degree in managing anybody. I took kind of like the elements I had from Boy Scouts and from football and from the military, and kind of just used the team dynamic to kind of create an awesome culture for my company.
Okay, but hang on a second. You jumped right to your team experience, your developing culture and all that stuff. day one you didn't need that, right? When you started out, you started out with a buddy of yours, right?
Yeah.
What was Matt?
Dylan.
No, sorry, Dylan.
Yeah.
And he, I mean, you're just two guys. You know each other really well, right?
Yeah.
You start up. You didn't have a culture at that point. You started hiring people, started dealing with people. Did you run into any issues?
Well, yeah, and I think you still have, like, I think culture is just what your values are and what you decide to carry on with you as you keep building the company and spread those values down. I would say in the beginning it was very difficult because we were still trying to figure out what we were trying to build, what we were trying to do, and the technology, because VR is so new, and I'm not a tech guy. I used to own a burger truck and was a chef, and so.
But you did some studying in the back, in your spare time, because you obviously know the tech business and you know what you're doing. Okay, so when you started hiring people, you had all these concepts and these ideas, and you didn't have any direction, or you were just looking for direction. What did you tell your new hires and people, like the people you wanted to join the team? Did you have? How do you get them excited about things? How do you get them on board?
So it's about basically, I think all developers and all developers who want to go out there and build cool tech. It doesn't take a lot to make them happy. It's about making a place where things like the projects you work on are awesome. The people you work with are awesome. They care about you, they respect you, and you respect them. And you're going to learn something. Like anybody who wants to come in and work, they want to learn, they want to grow. They want to do things that make them uncomfortable, and so that they can be their best selves. And I think creating a culture around that and maintaining a culture around that, that's the difficult part. But I think everybody, like, I didn't have to go around really yanking anybody's chain to come work for me. The people I work with, they all want to be there, and they're super happy.
Okay, that's interesting. That's awesome that you can do that. Okay, and now the question then follows is, once you got all these people in there, you got 2 guys to start it, then you grow to 5 and 10 and 20.
Yeah.
Okay, then what happens? Then during that dynamic, you're going to run into issues, right?
Yes.
I mean, because everybody wants to create their thing. They want to be the best. They want to do really cool stuff.
Yes.
Are they going in the right direction? Are they doing the right things?
Yes, and so that's where the communication comes in, and that's the difficult part. I run a couple softwares. I run Trello for my project management. We do Agile where we're at, and I use Slack as a main form of communication. Some of my people are in-house. Other people are remote. And what I've come to realize is one of the big difficulties of business is information that's communicated. One, from a manager to employee to partner to partner. If you have communication that's on remote, usually video chat or text message or via email, you drop communication, you drop information, and sometimes people will start building in a direction that you don't want them to necessarily build in, and you'll have waste. And that's where waste comes from, is a drop of information from bad communication.
Okay, so you're using something called Slack for that, right? Okay, tell me about Slack. What does it do? How does it work?
So Slack is a cool software that allows a lot of people to collaborate on projects and keep the conversation inside organized channels. So I have a channel called Project Suite Escape that allows anybody, the team that's working on Project Suite Escape, to communicate, transfer files, say a funny joke, but it's all organized in Slack. And then also I've been using different ways to communicate with my clients, where I bring in a channel for my client, and that way we can have direct communication, because email right now is good, but the problem is it's so, you can have so many threads of an email and lose so much information because of different threads, different emails that go out to the client when you're trying to transfer deliverables. And Slack keeps it all nice and organized for you in one channel, so that you can search that channel if needed, if you needed to go back or find something.
Okay, so in that one channel, I mean, it's like real-time live kind of thing, right? Everybody's contributing. It involves, the people involved are the developers, the managers, the client even. Okay, and you're all engaging at the same time. And what is that? Doesn't that cause chaos? Too many people all in the loop? Too many, hands in the pie, or whatever you want to call it? Or does it actually simplify things and make it better?
I think it actually simplifies things and makes things more dynamic and makes things more real time. sometimes with projects, you have deadlines, and you need to get approvals from clients. You need to get you need to show them something. And sometimes emails, like for me, I only check my email once every couple days sometimes because I'm busy in the zone with the stuff, all my software I got going on at work. So when you and that's how other clients are too. So when you have a more direct communication, you get more things done, and it's a lot like so far. All my projects that I've done through email have come up late, where everything that I've gone through Slack, everything comes up very smooth.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And just a quick note, I'm gonna fill in a gap here because we've talked about this before on the show,
Yeah.
and we have prior episodes that talk about agile methodology. And the agile methodology is a whole system where you go back and you constantly involve everybody in the chain, getting things done, and so that changes can be made on the fly. And you're basically reporting back to everybody on a constant live basis. That's why Slack works probably really well with that, right? And it's great because the clients are in the loop. They know what you're doing.
Yep.
They can put in feedback, as maybe change direction midstream if they need something different than where you started out, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we put all that together. Now the next question comes: how do you you got a culture that you start with? You got Slack for communication, and everybody's talking and everybody's open about everything. Does that, well, first off, does that follow through? Is everything else open in the organization? I mean, are you essentially an interactive organization where the managers are all, visible or constantly transparent?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about that. Tell me transparency. I want to know about it.
Okay, so we first off, we just moved over here to Costa Mesa. We have one office, and all of us, the dev team, sales team, management team, we're all in the same space.
Okay.
And we do a stand-up every day that allows us to set the intention of what we're going to do for the day and things that we're going to get done. And that way, things can get discussed if someone's heading in a different direction. I can stop that immediately at the stand-up and go, actually, why don't you create this as the priority? And then with that, we've been able to, I also believe that psychology is a big part of productivity.
Okay.
And through that, I've been able to have one-on-one sessions with my team with not only like asking them about the problems that they see in their job, but also the problems that they have at home and the problems they're having with a girlfriend or the problems they're having with stress with family. Because those things that we don't get very many opportunities to talk to people about, and they hinder productivity a lot. So I try to have one-on-one sessions. The other management team tries to have one-on-one sessions with the people on a regular basis to try to see where the company's at and to get I try to create an emotional safety net for everybody, basically, if that makes sense.
Right. Okay. So awesome. So you're really almost like a business coach, a personal coach, everything all rolled in one, and that's how you keep the organization going and all the people, all these creative minds and these tech people going in the right direction and keep the culture.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I really like hearing about that. Okay. So before we take a break, I want to get some basic information out there for anybody who wants to reach out to you or Reality Smash. How do we reach you?
RealitySmash.com. That is the website. I would say Reality Smash VR on Instagram.
Okay. What about you mentioned Steam? How do they find you?
Steam, Sweet Escape. Sweet Escape VR is our game. You can go to sweetescapevr.com as well.
Okay, awesome. Okay, and also for the show itself, if they want to watch the show or rebroadcast of the show, why don't you come to bestcompanieshow.com? That's our website if you haven't reached us there already. We also have a YouTube channel, iTunes, Stitcher. We're out there, so just search around for Best Companies Show. If you'd like to reach out to me personally, my name is Robert J. Curtis, and a great way to get in touch with me is through LinkedIn, for example, or else through the company. You can reach out at info@bestcompanieshow.com, and we're always looking for suggestions for new guests, interesting information, feedback on our shows. And we have a kind of a transparency initiative here, too. We try to do the best we can to serve our audience and everything else. So I'll recommend everybody go check out your game on Steam, go check out your website, see what you guys are up to, and also go check out your information.
Second break.
Yeah, let's take a quick break.
Cool. Thank you.
Robert J. Curtis is the founder and CEO of Alpha Quantix, a premier provider of employee analytics and metrics that helps CEOs and managers of middle market companies hire the best, manage the best, and be the best. Robert is a keynote speaker, presenter, moderator, and panel member who regularly appears at conferences, business events, and association meetings nationwide. His presentations provide powerful information that give CEOs and managers of middle market companies valuable insights to improve their hiring and engagement skills. If you'd like Robert to make a personal appearance, he can be contacted by visiting his show's website, bestcompanyshow.com, or by emailing Robert at info@bestcompanyshow.com.
And welcome back to the Best Company Show. We're on the last leg here. We're going to wrap it up, but before we do, I want to throw a hot seat question.
Sure.
At Matt, okay?
Ooh.
I warned you that you're going to get a hot seat question. I did not tell you. You have not seen or heard anything about this topic, right? So this is a surprise for you and for me, and I'd love to get your feedback on it.
Okay.
Okay, so in the news, I mean, literally, I think it was this morning, I was reading about a company that is using VR for training and all of this. And it sounds to me like what you were just talking about is that's what you guys are creating that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so, well, not particularly that one.
No.
That I was reading about, but you're doing other things. And I also was reading about Tesla is always in the news, right? And so Tesla's in the news, and they're talking about the robotics and how robotics are replacing human labor. This presents a quandary. Are you guys are kind of in that same area. You're putting people to work, and you're creating these great things, but at the same time, you're putting people out of work because you're helping to replace work. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, come on. It's a tough environment. Everybody's scared. Yeah. I'm not going to have a job next year, maybe, because a robot is going to come. Because virtual reality, it can be combined with AI and all these other technologies to replace me.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about that?
There's certain industries where I think robots taking over is a good thing. For instance, robots don't get distracted. They don't fall asleep. So, as far as a robot driving me to work, that'd be awesome because it's just going to take me from point A to point B. But I think as far as going into like normal industries and replacing the labor force, I think with certain hard manual labor positions, I would like to see get replaced by robots, because I don't think people should be working so hard out in the middle in the hot weather and busting their butt to try to make a smaller wage when they could be working on something completely different and expanding themselves, growing themselves, making themselves learn something new and be more creative. Okay. I think robots will allow us to be more creative.
Okay, now I totally agree with you there, but there's a lot of people out there that have limited resources, limited time, capacity, whatever, and those guys might be the ones that are doing the hard jobs and trying, like you said, busting your butt, trying to bring the paycheck home, and that might be the guy you're replacing. And you're looking at him saying, "Hey, why don't you come on board and get in technology?" And that's like a whole different world. It's not part of who that person is. You're essentially a major disruption to these people. You think it's good. What about the guy on the other end of the line here who's saying, well, maybe I don't have to bust rocks anymore or drive a truck anymore because it's going to be replaced by an autonomous truck. Yeah. But what am I going to do?
I would ask him, what do you want to do?
Okay. What are the opportunities? Let's talk real quick. Give me, in a couple of minutes, give me some ideas of what these people are going to do.
I think, so right now we have this awesome thing called the internet in the world. And the internet teaches us so much. I've seen kids learn how to be great piano players from just watching the internet. And I think right now we're getting to that point where we can start we can teach ourselves how to do anything. So I ask everybody, what do you want to do? And there is the internet that will teach you how to do it.
Okay, now, and it's funny that you should say that, and we should bring our show around to this point, because I know a little bit of history. I've met you before, obviously, before the show. I've known you for a couple of years, actually, off and on, I think. And I know a little bit about your story. You at the beginning of the show here, you alluded to it, that you used to have a burger truck, right? Yeah. And that was only a few years ago.
Yeah.
And so you've gone from burger truck to high tech, to cutting edge technology, to a stellar up and coming company in Orange County. And how'd you do it?
Yeah, I learned. I learned from the internet. I learned from.
Yeah.
I created a community of people, and I learned from all of them as well.
Yeah, I mean, you basically gave me just a minute ago. You said this is what you need to do to get out of driving the burger truck, to get on to the new economy and all of the things that are happening and technology and all that. All I have to do is reach out, and you can do it yourself. And you're a living example of what you just said.
I think it's just about having a passion, having a goal. What do you want to accomplish, and what does it take to accomplish that goal? And sometimes you have to do things that are uncomfortable and that you don't like to do, and you have to sacrifice. But once you do them, you will become so much stronger on the other side.
That is so awesome. I'm glad we actually ended up with this point, because it's just a great message, and you are a living example of your own message, and you totally believe it. And I can totally understand how you were very quick to create a dynamic creative culture with your organization, and how people want to work with you and want to be with you. Because you're inspirational. I mean, especially when it comes to tech and the business you're in. It's a great story. It's a great message, and you're doing great things. I'm just happy to be part of it, happy to be able to interview you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show.
Okay.
This is awesome.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you. You've been a phenomenal guest.
Sweet.
I really appreciate you having you here. I want to thank you for being the guest. I want to thank Paul Roberts, our engineer. He is, without whom we would not have a broadcast. He gets it together every week when we do it. And also Roland Canamore. He's our producer at Silver Dream Factory, and he helps us out in many, many ways, including taking the show on the road. And we're going to have an episode coming up where we're on the road, and you'll see about it. And if you go to the website, you can find out about it. But if you want to reach out to any of us, your information is
RealitySmash.com.
Okay, and we're at bestcompanies.com, bestcompanyshow.com. And the only thing I guess I have to end the show with is my tag out. What do you call this when you end the show? The show cap? I don't know. Until our next show, I hope your hiring and management decisions will lead you to be one of the best companies around. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You've been listening to The Best Company Show, Southern California's business podcast, focusing on topics of interest to CEOs and managers of middle market companies, with your host, Robert J. Curtis.
When you use the Premier Rewards Gold Card from American Express, the rewards points can keep on multiplying. Buy 3 with triple points on airfare. Buy 2 with double